Lolas. Oh my gosh. Wait. Okay. Alright guys, so I'm here with Baby Chase. First of all, make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you click the bell. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for showing me support. I am here with Chase by Bonnie Brown. He was painted by me. He now has his hair done. I wanted to first say to Mad Hatter DJ, I am so with you on the Bonnie Brown head shapes. They are like the best shaped heads ever. I'm telling you, I really enjoy her babies. So I sent him off to have painted hair, so I still get to enjoy the his little bald head. Let me just pull this in just a little bit, and I'll zoom in in a bit for you guys. But we're in Florida and it's super hot in Florida. We all know that, right? But I gave him all right. I put him on this sleeper because it got so cold in here because we turned the air up because it was really warm. It got really warm in the house, and so we had to turn it. Then we ended up turning it up way cold, and it got really cold, and he was just like, look, he was so cold. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I will confess, and I haven't did this in a long time, but I did actually co-sleep with him. So I made him a little place like with like a little comforter and then another little comforter on top of it, and he was laying there. It was just so cute. But I wanted to look at him just longer. So anyway, I'm gonna take him off of this, but before I do that, I'm gonna take off his little hat so that you guys can see his little painted hair. So he has painted hair, and I just wanted you guys to be able to see it. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you can see closer. Let's see. So I'm usually not a painted hair person, but I don't mind it as long as it's not really thick, like the thick black painted hair. Some babies I've saw where they've done it and it look okay, but for me that's just not my preference. So I'm not speaking against anyone else, baby, but I hate the magic marker look. So I was, pleased that she went a little thinner. Probably even the next baby I may even go even thinner. But I was totally satisfied with him. He has a lot of texture on him, so she had told me that the next time she would do better on him, but she worked around the texture. I texture my babies a lot because I know that I'm going to be dressing them, and I know that other mommies dress their babies a lot, and the texture really protects the baby. Paris, Mia Moore, is very texture. In fact, she was the first baby that Yogi had attempted the texture on, and so hers is really thick. I think over time it's kind of, from the touching and rubbing and all that, it might have calmed down just a little, but it never bothered me. But it's really it's really a nice texture, and like I said, she still looked the same as she did 5 years ago. So I feel like it protects the paint. So I'm always wanting to use the texture on my babies. But his came out a little bit thicker than I normally do it, but I was still really happy with it. It's not a rough feel or anything, but you could kind of see it a little bit. But it gives that, to me, it gives that more skin look on him. No one complained about the texture at the doll show, because he's the one baby that I toted around a lot. And if you followed me on Facebook, when I was going live a lot, he got a lot of attention. A lot of people stopped and they said how real he looked. He didn't have painted hair then, he was just bald. But yeah, so I said, oh my gosh, but the painted hair does look nice on him, and it works really nice in pictures and stuff like that. So Mandy did a great job, and I'm excited. She charged like $100 for painted hair, so it was a quick fix versus trying to go send him off to get rooted. But my other chase that I paint will have, you know, rooted hair. Now I'm gonna take his little binky off. I love him with a binky. I don't know, when I set his magnet when he got back, I made sure that it matched to this binky, because I wanted this binky on him. But this is him up close. Let's see if it'll I don't know if it will zoom in good enough. But anyway, that's him up close. Now I'm gonna take his binky off. So that's him without his binky. So yeah, so that's the part that I think that painted hair can only go on, well, for me, on babies with really nice hair, because I mean a nice shaped head, because it, you know, it allows you to still be able to see the shape of the head. So but yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, that's my little confession. Is that that's my confession, that I did co-sleep. There's like the last baby I think that I did that with was Kingston. Kingston used to sleep. I used to make a place for Kingston in my bed, and he used to sleep there for a little while, and then I started putting him in his crib. But I normally, you know, don't do that. But the thing is, that's also why when I get a baby, like especially like a silicone, and it's like secondhand mommy, I always give them a wash off and stuff, because it just kind of wash off the travels and the other mommies. And I'm always kissing my babies on their forehead, because that's where I used to kiss my real babies. So I usually kind of like gently will, with my silicones, I would rinse them off. My reborns, sometime I do it, sometimes I forget, but I'm always kissing them at the top of their head or right there on their forehead. So I've been really loving on him. I just love like watching him like being posed and stuff, and we just, I don't know, it's just been so exciting to have him back, and I'm just really so happy and finally like enjoying my own work. And guys, you don't know how hard that was. And I always just a little word of encouragement for those that may be new and just started painting, or you know, feel like their work is not there. When I first thought of even the idea of trying to paint, I was just like, oh, I just want to paint something. And, you know, I thought, well, I'll love it because it's my work and it's going to mean a lot to me. And then I painted the first baby, and I liked the color, the skin tone that I got, but it was so chalky. And then, so I just kind of, I liked it. And then all of a sudden I just couldn't get over the chalky look. So I just kind of put it to the side. Next thing you know, that thing was like took apart, and so I didn't paint for months. And that's why, like, some people be like, how long have you been painting? It's kind of hard because like that baby, then I didn't paint for like a whole nother 6 months or so. And then I tried to paint another baby, and everything came out fine, but I had one boo-boo on it on the leg. The paint didn't take in one spot or something, and it was doing something crazy. It was a bountiful baby. And so then I really, really loved his painting, but that was the one thing that went wrong. And then so I stopped painting again. When I learned how to paint over again, I went back over him. I think did a different texture on him, and then I just kind of kept him. And then I ended up selling that one as a boo-boo baby, and his mommy really loves him. I can't even remember how much it was, but it was, you know, basically a little nothing. But I just, you know, I felt like I would never get quite where I was like, oh well, I'll always be buying other people's work, but you know, I would try it every now and then. And then, you know, I think the first baby that I really, really loved, Well, I loved all of them as I go, but basically I just got to a point where I started liking them a little bit more, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was like, I felt like I was really close, like, you know how you get so close, and all of a sudden it's like, gotcha. It's like, that's how it was with painting. I was like, I'm getting closer, 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 yes! You know, that type feel. Like, it was, I don't know. So then after a while, I started really enjoying my work, but there's still like little things that I'm still working on, and there's always things that I want to do better, and I want to learn how to do this, and I want to learn how to do that. And I did, just for the record, try to paint hair one time on one of my little play dolls, and now it's like, I don't know how they do that. So rooting, I think over time I would probably get better at that, but I really have no interest in rooting or painting hair. I think I can just paint my babies and send them off for that. At the end of the day, yeah, I still spend a couple $100, but it still saves me from buying straight out. But I'm to the point now where I really enjoy my own work. You know, when you get to a certain point when you buy a baby and you go, oh, okay, and then you paint your own and you're like, oh, I like mine better, that type thing. I love my Aubrey Pooh, don't get me wrong, she was gorgeous, she was an impulse buy, but when I painted my own limb, it was like, which one am I going to keep? And I was like, I prefer my paint style, so I did that. But I've always wanted to have a Randy baby and keep a Randy baby because her paint style is so very unique. I mean, it is so different. I think Yvonne Nathers paint like Randy too. They have that same paint style. There's another one out there, but they have a whole different paint style. I don't know how to explain it, but not many paint like them, and so I wanted to have a baby. So Ramesh is definitely one to keep in my collection, hopefully forever, but for now I'm just gonna say for a very long time. He's definitely gonna be a centerpiece in the nursery once I set that up. So yeah, as I keep mentioning in my videos, I have so much to do within the next 5 weeks, and then after that it's gonna be another little hump because it'll be a lot of like settling and all that great stuff. I don't want to really get into all that on the World Wide Web, but I have a lot of stuff to do for the next step in my life. But yeah, so I really, like I said, I really was excited to see him back. I put his magnet in as soon as I felt like it was dry and made sure it was dry. I gave him weight back in his head, put him back together, and I've really been holding him pretty much since then. I put Bella back in her bed because she was out yesterday, because my silicone babies don't usually be like out. So but I put her back in her bed, and I've just been spending time with Chase. So I just feel like, you know, I was thinking like sometime, you know, I collect everybody else's babies, and, you know, I'm on the contrary of what a lot of people say. I do feel like I give a lot of artists credit. I'm always, you know, bragging on other artists' work because I do admire so many different artists' work. I have my favorite artists as far as painters, as well as sculptors, but I don't really take the time out to really enjoy my own work and my own babies, and that's something that I'm starting to do a little bit more. And I think that you guys will be seeing a lot more of my reborns. Don't mean you won't see my silicones and stuff, but I want to be able to show my work a little bit more, not just because I want to show off my work, but because I want to enjoy my fruits of labor. You know, I've been, you know, with Chase, I painted him in a week. His kit came, and I had to hurry up and get him ready for the show. I was painting Abigail, but I had already started Abigail way before, and I did a lot of undertones with her to try to get to a, you know, specific color. So when she goes outside or she's in different lighting, I guess it will show, oh, my battery about to end. But I rushed with him, but I didn't rush. I still took many hours. Later,